All right. So in our last class, our discussion was on how to model reports using Power BI visualizations, right? I don't know if you can still remember the model we use out of this visualization. You still remember the name of the one that helps us to generate this report? I think we use a table model, right, for this aggregate analysis. And then we use either clustered column charts or clustered bar chart and then we use a pie chart also in order to graphically visualize this table. Now, we are still on learning Power BI visualizations. We are still on learning Power BI visualization. Don't forget, I told us that the ability to use all this model, all this visualization to draw actionable insights from a given data is what makes you a data analyst with Power BI. So this section, I'll be looking at different models. So I will then assume that we know how to analyze data with table model. And then if you can analyze data with table model, definitely you should be able to analyze data with matrix because they are used for the same purpose. Are you following? Now, let's start with Power BI card. So I'm looking at Power BI card /measure. Are you writing? Power BI card / card, CAROD. Power BI card, Power BI card. So we are looking at that model, how we can use card to analyze data. It's part of the visualization. Look at it here. This is it. So this is a card. Now, this card has its own way of analyzing data in Power BI. So I will start with the definition before we look at how to use it to generate insight from our data. Can we write now if you are writing? So what is Power BI card? Power BI cards are used to display single values. Power BI cards are used to display single value. Did you get it? They are used to display single value. Values like total. Let's say you want to summarize the total of values you have in a column, which is going to give us a single metric result. For example, now, I want you to look at the screen. Please avoid working at the same time, except I ask you to do so that you can focus and understand it faster. Now, if you look at this report that I'm navigating at, you can see that this is not card analysis. This is table what? Analysis. How do I know when to use table analysis over card? The moment your analysis is to be aggregated or compared to unique value, then you have to use table because card will just give me, let's say, the total of profit. It's going to give us a single line. So that is when you use card. So we are going to use card to, we are going to create card at the top of all these detailed report models. That is the best practice. Your card, your single value analysis should always come first before your detailed or explanation analysis. Now, if I may switch to the data set so that we can draft some questions we can actually output with Power BI card. For example, if we are asked to summarize the total profits, we are not comparing the profits from one country to another country. The question is, what is the total profit generated from all the region or all the countries? That is going to be analyzed with card. So, but after adding the card, for example, now this is the card. You click on it and then it will insert the frame. So let's assume this is a card. So the question is, what data are you giving the card to analyze? So you cannot use card until you create the measure. So at the moment, now that we understand what card is, I am temporarily switching to Power BI measure, and then I'm coming back to card, because there is no way you can talk about card without calculations. So you must have created a calculator that must have done the analysis. Then the job of the card is to output the results. Did you get it? Now I want you to go back to your notes and note it down so that we can understand it. Notes. The values to be given to Power BI card should be a calculated value with measures. The values to be displayed or given by Power BI card should be a calculated value with measures. Should be a calculated value with measures. So the question is, what do we mean by measures? In Power BI, what is measures? MEASURES. What do we mean by measure? Let's write. Measures in Power BI are calculations. So the keyword there is calculation. Measures in Power BI are what? Calculations or aggregations. Or aggregations used to process data. Used to process data, such as sum, average, counts, and even customized calculation. Such as sum, average, counts, or custom calculations. Custom, that's customized, or customized calculation. Now, I want to explain a little bit so that you can get the clear picture of what we are insinuating. Now, remember that in our last class, I mentioned DAS, right? What did I told us is DAS in Power BI? DAS. It's an inbuilt function. No, it is a data language, right? That is the data language Power BI uses in creating those analysis functions. Exactly. I think I explained it in our last class. Now, this measure, please, I want to focus. We are talking about, you can add this note so that you can understand it. Measure simply mean calculators that perform analysis calculation. Measure simply mean calculators that performs analysis calculation. So if I am asked to create measure, indirectly, I am asked to create what? A calculator, right? Yes, to perform analysis calculation. So why should you create a measure? Sir, I'm asking. What is your intention? Good, to perform what? Analysis calculation for you. Now, let's look at the question I want the measure to answer for me. Right. Analysis questions that can be answered with CAD through the measure. Analysis question that can be answered with CAD through the measures. So we are looking at this, we are looking at this same Amazon data. This is an inventory data that has a column called total profit generated. No. I want to focus on the screen. I'm just explaining. So what I'm doing now, how am I able to view this data in this form, sir? What did I do that make me to view the values under the column? Table. That is what I switch from what? Report view to what? Table view. All right. Now, let's write the question together. Remember, I advised us the other time that anytime you want to draft your analysis question, you have to switch to what? Data view, so that you'll be able to see the column value. So the question is that the organization wants to know the total of this. The addition of what? All the values under what? Total profit. You know, the answer will be one line value, right? Good. These are the kind of analysis questions you answer with what? CAD. And we are saying that CAD is designed to display a calculated value. So why are we going to measure first? Because we want to build a calculator that will perform the analysis that the CAD will be used to display. Are you getting the connection, sir? Good. Now that you understand what you are doing, the first question, right? The first question is from the Amazon sales inventory or sales data. From the Amazon sales data set. Answer the following question with CAD through measures. Answer the following questions with what? CAD through Power BI measures. The first question is, what is the total profit generated from all the countries? Questions with CAD through what? Measures. And the first question is, what is the total profit generated? What is the total profit generated? What is the total profit generated from all the countries? So the interpretation of that question simply means that what, sir? We are to add all the what? The values under what? Profit. So before I leave the data, let me quickly write all the questions. The second question is on revenue. That is, what is the total revenue generated from all the countries as well? What is the total revenue generated from all the countries? Is that taken? Now, these two questions will be answered with what? Power BI what? Sum dash function. So I want to include functions that will give us the counting. So that is going to be my third question, quickly. My third question is, analyze the total numbers of entry. In other words, the total numbers of transactions in the Amazon data set. Transaction entry or transactions in the Amazon data set. In the Amazon data set. In the Amazon what? Data set. Are you with me? Now, let me switch back to my report view. Please, I want you to pay attention here. Because by the time I call you tomorrow and you have not done the assignment, I will cancel tomorrow class. So pay attention here so that you can do it within 1 hour. Now, so if you look at this, we are to answer 3 questions. And the 3 questions will form the card. In fact, I will go beyond that, but let me just answer those 3. Now, this is an interactive dashboard.
So remember, I told you that what your dashboard should be well structured and it should be what user what friendly. So it means that what the way you place your report, the arrangement of your report should be a priority in order to form a good design. So the idea is that the card will form a shape at the top. Now, let me show us how to create measure to calculate, to analyze the first question that will be outputted with the card. Now, to create measure, steps on how to create measures now. You right-click on any of the words, the field in the data set. I expect us to be writing steps on how to create measure because we have only described it. We have not written step by step on how to create measures. Right-click on any of the data field. That is, just place your mouse pointer on any of the heading. And then once you right-click, you see what? New what? Measure. Can you see the option? You click on what? New measure. That is your next step. Right-click on any of the data field and select new measure. I want you to be watching. That is what I'm waiting. So now, once I click on new measure, I'm waiting for you. Now, you click on new measure, then you wait. You wait, it's going to activate a text box at the top here. Now, I'm still waiting for it. Now, look at it. It has opened up. So this is what came out as the measure. So now, your measure should have a descriptive name, a name that defines the calculation you want to perform with it. What is the first question? From there, I will know the name I will give to my measure. That we should analyze total profit what? Generated from all the country, right? So I will say what? Total. Delete that measure and type total profit underscore profit. Now, look at it here. You know, if I use total profit, there is a header that has similar description, total profit. So it might confuse me. So let me just add what? Another word. Good, all country, good, all country. Now, the next thing after the equal sign, you activate the function. That the way the function sound will tell you whether you have to use count or whether you have to use sum. Based on that question, which function do you think we have to use? It's sum. Because the question says summarize, right? So I'll type sum. Once I type sum, it will bring out what this, then click on it. Now, it will automatically synchronize all the headers. So if you have loaded 3 different data sets, it will combine all their header. So it is your responsibility to identify the header in the particular data set in quotes. Here we're talking about what? Amazon data. If I scroll down now, this is the next what? Data that I also loaded here. So definitely I should not pick any header from here. So I should look for what? Total profit header under what? The Amazon data category. Are you with me, sir? Hello? Good. Yes, that is when you type sum. You type sum. Once you type SU, it will drop it. Then you click on it. So that is what brought all this. So it automatically detected all the headers under the category of data you must have loaded here. So now you have to locate, the first thing you recognize what? The name of the file, Amazon. Then before you locate the what? So that you don't pick from the wrong data. So I'm picking from here, and this is the header that will answer the question, which is what? This. So once I click, this is the formula. Now, it's just one criteria summation. Since it's just one criteria summation, then what this function will do is to add all the values in total profit header and save the answer in what? I want to date here, please. And save the values in what? Please make sure you are with me. What will this function do? This function will sum up all the values under what? Total profit and save the answer in where? Good. Now, that is what you now add to your measure, but your card. But now let's commit it. Once you are done writing your function, the next thing is for you to commit it. Now, the moment you commit it, this, yes, the name will appear here. Can you see? This is the name now. This is how you show that. This is how you know that you have actually created what? A calculation. And what symbol is this? This is the calculator what? Symbol. Okay, so which means that you actually integrated, you actually build the measure on an existing what? Data frame. Are you with me? So now, how do you now, the answer is not visible. Are you seeing the answer? Are you seeing the calculated result? Good. Now, what will you use to output it? If you want to see it in your dashboard, that is where card comes in. So card, that is why I told us before that cards are used to output calculated what? Value. Measure is the one that did the calculation. Then card is to display the answer. So what I will simply do is to select the card that I added before. Right? Are you following? Now, you will just check this one. Just check it just by the way. Once we check it, it will analyze the answer. This is the answer, sir. Exactly. Huh? That's why I was asking whether you are with me. Look at, did you have this answer before? I only added the card there. There was nothing in it.
Okay, you not click on card.
I click on card. That time I click on this card and the frame was already here.
So how do you do it?
I activated, I dragged this one and put it inside. Just like the way you are dragging this to form your table now. So what we have answered now is what? This 7.23 million is what? Total profit from what? All the country. Now, what's the next question? Now you understand it now. But this is what you do, sir. This is what you do. Let me show you something. Remember that I told us that every visual has formatting, right?
Yeah.
In order to make the metrics or the values visible, you have to format it. So now I just want to shift this one down a little. Now, you can as well format your card. So how do you format your card? You click on it before I answer the two other questions. You click on it, then you also switch from what? Visual category to what? Format. You still remember this? Good. Now, all these are for formatting what? This card. Now, let me start from call out value. Bold. Can you notice the changes? Now, I can also change the color. So let's say the color is this. I'm working with some of the color here. Remember what I told you about color what? Calculation. Your dashboard will be more interactive and user-friendly when you use simple color, not using complex color. Sometimes you can just use just one color or two. You know, black and white are not what? Part of the color. So now the next thing is I want to also the value, I want to determine the decimal units. The decimal units, I can say, okay, I want it to be in what? In thousands. This is in thousands, but I think I should leave them in a million. right? Or ought to. Okay. Now, what was here before? This is not what was here. I think what was here before, I want to check what was here because I'm having different value from what I have there before. So display units, was it in millions? Okay. Now, the next thing I want to do is the category label. The category label. The category label is total profit, this description here. I also want to make it what? Visible. So I'll bold it and then give it full black. And then if I want to change or increase the size, fine. Then based on the size of the card, let me increase it here a little. Then that is for the value. Now, I also said that once you go to general, you are talking about formatting the visual itself, not the value is containing, right? Because I want to give it background color. So I'll come here. And then here, I want to add title if necessary. Title will have helped us to write the question, but the question is already written, right? So Adibi, when you were creating the measure, you were not creating to write this kind of description. Then you can what? Achieve it here through what? Title. Now go to effect. From effect, I'll choose background color. So I just need something like this. And then or. Okay, so now the transparency of that color, if you feel that is too sharp, you can reduce it a little, the background you added. Then the borderline, the visual borderline, if you want it, you can turn it on and choose the color you want for that. Choose the color. So let's say I'm choosing this color. Then rounded corner, if I want the corner to curve, that is what? The corner of the shape. I can also what? Adjust it here. Adjust it here. Then the thickness of the line, you can increase it also. So all these are there. Once I step out now, you can see that it's curved. You can see the rounded corner coming out. All these are ways of you designing your card to make it more interactive and user-friendly. So I go back there. So if, for example, I'm okay with this, there are other things there, like I told you the other time. Most of these, they are self-taught. You can just come here because as you are touching them, you are seeing the what? The effect. If you don't want it to drop it. Now, I want to answer the next question. What is the next question, sir? Go back to your note. What is the next question? The next question. Analyze what? The total number of what? Entries, right? Transaction. Now, look at this. Something happened here, which I resolved the other time, but I don't know if you remember. I told you that what every report you have in your Power BI dashboard can filter other reports, can act as a slicer. Now, this is the total profit generated from all the country, right? But there's a place where you have analyzed only what? One region, right? So if I want to know the profits generated from all the country only in this region, so I will just click on this region in this report. This is it here. This is what just happened now. So I don't need to wait until I bring in my slicer if I understand this logic. Now, how do I bring everything back? You just double click on it to bring everything back. I just want you to observe that because sometimes when you are clicking, it can happen and then you just be wondering how. So I can come back here and then double click again to bring back everything. Then double click here. It's like I also selected one here and then it bring back what? Everything. So let's quickly go ahead to answer the second question. Please read out the second question, sir. Analyze what? That is for revenue, right? Now, please, this is second time I'm doing measure now. Now, remember I said you right click on any of what? This field, right? And then you click on what? Now, if you don't want to do that, You can as well go to Home tab, and then you will see, once you click on Home tab, I'm coming, you will see what? New what? Measure. That is another way if you don't want to right-click. Then you wait, then it will display it here just like it happened the other time. Then remember I said the name should be a descriptive name. What are we analyzing? So that we don't bother using title in our formatting section. What are we analyzing? Total revenue, right? Total underscore what? Revenue. Let's say rev. Underscore what? All underscore country. Now, you type sum. This is what I did the other time. Sum, you understand? Then you select the function. Now, which header am I selecting? Revenue what? Header. Which is this? Are you following? So I click here. So I've answered the question. Then I have to what? Commit it here and wait until the name can display here. Where is the name now? This is it. I think it's, yeah, this is it. Now, sir, how do I display the answer here? How do I display the answer here? Let me know if you were following. How do I display the answer here? Good. Click on card. Then remember that your card should form a design. Leave space. Then how do I output the value? What will I add to this card? What data is it analyzing? The measure we created, right? So I will just click and drag it and put it inside. That's what I did the other time. Okay. Now, you know, I have to also format it. I have to make sure that my cards are unique in terms of what? Formatting. Remember, I said something the other time. When you see professional data analysts advertising in their portfolio that they are data analysts, most of them, they advertise dashboard they created with what? Either Excel and what? PowerBi. So what you would do is that you take different projects. Once you are done, you screenshot it as an image. Then you go to your, maybe your portfolio, maybe your LinkedIn account or your GitHub account or your Facebook account. You analyze, you know, you explain the data you analyze, and this is the dashboard you were able to create with the data, answering different words, insights, derivation words, questions. So now, for that reason, what the employer will see, that we encourage them that, wow, sometimes the beautification, the arrangement, the coloring. So that is why I advise that you should learn to use simple design. Now, you know that for me to make this card look exactly this one, based on formatting, I have to click here and then start going through what? All the command I use. But I will not want to go through that again. I may miss one of the words, the step that will make it not appear to be the same. So what I will simply do is to extract all the formatting of this one and dump them here. How can that be possible, sir? Let me know, because I did it in the last class. What will I do? I'll click here, right? I'll go to where? Format what? Painter, right? And then you select that card. So automatically, they have the same appearance, and that is the uniqueness. But the size are not the same. So you try and make sure that both of them have the same size. All these little thing matters when you are creating an interactive and dynamic what? Dashboard with Power BI, even in Excel. So the second question, sorry, the third question quickly before I allow you to do, maybe allow you for the classwork. What is the second question, the third one? I think that will have to do with counting so that you can see how I'm going to use another dash function. Analyze the total number. So the company wants to know, or you wants to know, how many transactions were carried out across all the world, the country, recorded in the data flow. So that is another card to be created. Okay, so the same thing, right click, new card. Then this one is counting, right? So I'll make it more descriptive. Count total, right? Count total. Total what? No, total entries. Remember the question now? Yes, yes, total entries. No. Is that third question I'm asking? Now, this time around, I will use count function. Can you see the difference now? I'm not using what? Sum again. Now, it's just like I said, when we say count A, remember, the one that counts string, that is text, and the one that counts only what? Number. Do you still remember in Excel? You remember, oh, use count A and what? Count. Now, it means that I can use any of the header to do the counting. Good. So if I'm using profit, because profit, I have integer under it, so I can go with count. But if I'm going to use country, column, as my counting criteria, I have to use what? Count A. Because I told us in Excel that count A is for counting what? Any type of data. Why count can only count what? Integer or what? Number. You just remember? Okay, so if I'm choosing this count, it means that what? The header I am going to choose does not have string. So I can't use region because the values I have there, they are text. So I'll choose any of this header, either total cost, total profit, total revenue, that have what? Integer or number. The same number of record I will have here, the same thing I will have under what? Total profit. So now the same thing, commit my function and then ensure that the name appears here before calling the card. There is it. Now, add my card. Then check the option, which is this. I'm not dragging it. Remember, I told you the other time. Once you have selected the frame, you want to populate with the data. You don't need to drag it. PowerBi is sensitive enough to know that once a frame is selected, any value you select here is meant to go in there. So there are what? 20. There are 20 entries. There are 20 entries. That is what it analyzes. So now I want to replicate the same format. What will I do again? I will select this one, right? And then do what? I want to replicate the formatting of this one here. What do? I selected this report. And then I'm going for what? Format painter. And then click on it. Please don't forget. So based on the moment I apply this is a million, the counting is in tens, right? So if I want this to really give me a valuable answer or a number I can interpret, there is need for me to change the what? I have to go to format and then change the display unit from million to what? Thousands. Was it 1,000? The number is not to 1,000. To none, this particular model, to none, so that it can fall to what? Tens. This is 20, and we are analyzing it in million. That's why it was showing 0. So now, remember I said you have to make sure that they all have the same height. Now, I want to answer another question. But before I answer that question, I want you to give me one card first in that your report. Answer one of the questions. You are using both measure and the card.